One day we'll get.
Can you post the link to your Twitch and I'll swap it for the one I've just.
No. I'm going live on our Twitch now.
Oh right, I'm with you.
We're good. I think we're live. I can't tell because the dashboard's being weird.
Yeah, it says live.
Okay.
Yes,
and
we were
I'm
live.
doing a commercial.
Oh, we're watching a commercial for ourselves. Okay. This works. Whatever. Good day, fellow geeks. Welcome to the Geeks of Azeroth 100th episode special, where we're going to talk about what we've done over the last 100 episodes. We'll still talk about Blizzard news, and then we're going to play some games afterwards. So stay tuned for a great episode of Geeks of Azeroth. By geeks.
About geeks.
For geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth!
Well, my phone decided to give us some lovely music there. Welcome, everybody, to episode 100 of Geeks of Azeroth. And we have got the full cast with us. We've got Big Voodoo, and of course, the original cast members. Big Voodoo, you're not a part of that family. But
No.
we've got Britza, and we've got Zool. Welcome, everybody, to the show. 100 episodes. 100 episodes. Now, when
It's a long time.
It's kind of funny because when you look at like iTunes, or Stitcher, and you go through our episodes, this is actually like episode 107 or something like that because of all of the like micro episodes we've had. We've had the, two-parters for BlizzCon, stuff like that. But well,
Here we are, triple digits.
how's everybody doing? Zool, since you've been away from us for a little bit, let's start with you. How have you been? I think your microphone's muted, buddy.
Again, that happened earlier too.
Hi, Zool.
That's how long it's been. I keep forgetting that I have to unmute my microphone sometimes. It's been good. Just been working. Been playing lots of different stuff. Blizzard games, of course, not as much WoW, although I'm getting the itch again to really spend a lot of time in there. Overwatch on my PlayStation quite a bit. Been playing a lot of Witcher 3 finally. Been all over the place kind of. And just freaking out about Rogue One.
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit freaking out about Rogue One. Britza, how are you doing? Obviously not freaking out about Rogue One because you're one of like the 5 people in the world who
On the
haven't seen that
planet.
movie yet.
Yeah, I'm like the only person. It's weird because like my
There's
friends are going
Uganda
to see
kids
it,
who have
and
gone to see that movie before you.
Yeah, I know. They're kids who weren't even born when Star Wars came out who have seen it before I had seen it. That's just depressing. But yeah, no, I tell you what, this time of year just gets a bit manic, I think, for everyone. So my gaming update is a little bit more sporadic. I've just been dipping in and out of heroes and other things just because they've been there. There's been no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's just, 2 hours of WoW, 2 hours of heroes, and I'm hoping to get into Hearthstone during the Christmas break and actually spend some time doing that. So yeah, just being a bit all over the place, which is typical for this time of year, and not seeing Rogue One. So I've got to correct that probably tomorrow when I have
Today.
now.
Forget
Forget
I'm
this
off.
episode.
See you
Just
later.
go watch the movie.
I should. I hear it's amazing. There's not a single person who said anything bad about it yet.
Well, Big Voodoo, how have you been since the last episode?
Busy, very busy. Mostly with gaming, it seems lately. Yeah, I've been playing a decent amount of StarCraft still, like always. Go figure. Got ranked in Team League for Heroes after they changed over to the new season and all the changes they did with Team League and Hero League. Overwatch, played a little bit of the seasonal stuff because the skins are great. Got to get some. And picked up Final Fantasy 15. And also, great game.
Right on. Final Fantasy 15. I forgot that was a thing. Myself, I had school
What?
for the last week, so I wasn't gaming a whole lot. And before that, I've been playing StarCraft. Today and yesterday, I played a ton of Stukov, the new co-op commander who came out. Super good. Super fun to play. And of course, Overwatch, the winter thing. I did just throw $50 US dollars at the game to give me loot boxes, and it gave me so many duplicates I almost ripped my hair out. And I was like, do I spend another $50? No, stop.
Yes.
I had to slap myself in the hand. But I got the one I wanted. I got the little elf tracer, so. And
See, I got that one just from a loot box that I like
No,
from
don't
leveling
send
up or
him
something.
I got that and Nutcracker Zen, so.
Oh, see, I want nutcrackers and yada. That is awesome. Freaking walnuts as his little
Yep.
ball.
Yep, it's pretty
Love it.
fantastic. I love that when Tracer laughs, she goes, ho, 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 ho. With
Oh,
her
does she?
skin,
I
yeah,
didn't notice
so
that.
It's pretty funny.
That is actually a really cool outfit. I haven't seen that one yet.
The Reaper
Which
has a
one?
really cool one. I also got the Scrooge McCree, which looks cool.
I love Scrooge McCree.
Yeah.
They're so great, all of them. I mean, Yeti, Winston.
Yeah, I definitely want that one. I don't even play Winston, but I have to have it. I need it. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Well,
These are really cool. I need them.
so why don't we kick off our 100th episode by talking about our last 100 episodes. We'll go into detail about every single episode over the last
Yep.
2 years and couple months. And
Sounds reasonable.
but let's talk about some memories. And I have to say, one of my favorite episodes. And I tried to look it up to find a clip, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what episode it was. But I don't know if you fellow listeners remember when the day we tried to apply World of Warcraft raiding mechanics into an office setting. That had to have been one of the funniest episodes that I could possibly remember. I mean, you guys remember that conversation? I think we were laughing
I
to the
do.
point of like crippling laughter for a good 15 minutes at that discussion topic.
It was pretty amazing.
I mean, what are our highlights? What are some favorite moments? Big Voodoo, you've been with us for over a year now, so.
You know, probably one of my favorite moments at this point has got to be. I think it was my very first tinfoil hat moment, and it was a conspiracy about Gul'dan's role in everything, and that maybe he was just going back to Azeroth to get his own skull.
Yeah.
And it was super long and convoluted. And I really enjoyed that moment. Or the Doom pillows. I don't remember anything else in context with that conversation, but every once in a while I still just go to lay down and I'm like, Doom pillows.
Yes, I do remember the Doom pillows as well. Zool, what's a favorite memory you have?
I always go back to that Valentine's Day episode, the 50 Shades of Warcraft we did.
Yes. Yes.
Those were so much fun. Oh, I had
want to
so
see
much
if I
fun
can
doing that.
find that article again. Just
And then that's one of the few episodes that one time at my last job when I coached gymnastics, I also did the cleaning on the weekends to help make it full time. And so, I would do that like super late at night, no one was there.
yeah.
And that was one of the few episodes that I re-listened to our own episode, that one, and just chuckled to myself while I cleaned the bathrooms. I mean,
So I actually found the article immediately. So let's see. Just read a couple of these.
Oh my god. There was a reason this was in the past, Charlie.
Let's see. I'm trying to find one that's appropriate for the show. I remember a lot of these were pretty rough.
yes, no, yeah, a lot of them were not appropriate in any way.
Christian
Oh
transmog
my-
is geared to tier 3. I shrugged. Kate stares at me, open mouth. I have to say, I love these occasions. Catherine, I don't know how to say her last name. Silent and floored. They are so rare. I take a brief and luxurious moment to enjoy it. Yep. he has a tier 3 gear, which he farmed at the end of the Burning Crusade.
There's one here that says, I disabled your authenticator, Anastasia. Oh, of course he did. How is that possible? Is it legal? Oh dear.
I race
I'm
for the
getting
wide
through this.
swirling portal and free in the bracing, cleansing damp air of Undercity.
You beguile me, spine of Deathwing. Completely overwhelm me. I feel like Icarus flying too close to the sun as I roll off your back.
A summon to Firelands. Thank you, I murmur.
We can do this all day. Oh my, I
We
love
shouldn't.
him.
We
I
did
love him
spend
so
all day
much.
doing it.
We did, yeah, the last time. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
that-
like, one more, and then like 10 later, one more, and then like 15 later, one more.
That's episode
Oh,
28, if anyone actually wants to see or listen to what we actually did then, which I wouldn't recommend.
it's definitely not recommended for children, but yeah, that was.
No.
Oh, that was a good episode for sure.
It's-
Britza, what's a highlight for you?
It's so hard to think of a particular highlight. Because I'm looking, you look at all the titles that we've given to these episodes, and like I can't even remember having these conversations. you know, you've been going for a long time when you're actually curious about what you've been speaking about, and I feel this is, yeah. In some ways, I need to go back and listen to the old episodes so I can remember. But I think we've had some really good discussions about Ashran, and I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a particular episode, but I do think like some of the highlights and like us really kind of bashing.
We were super
Ashran.
excited about it too. At one point,
Yeah.
I remember we were like, "Oh, this is gonna be such a cool mechanic," and then just, nope.
So I never even stepped foot in there. Not a single time.
You were spared, Zul. You were spared. But I don't think it's a particular episode. I do think like our guest episodes have been really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, and so they for me are the standout ones. But yeah, Doom Pillow was certainly a good one. And I think also like our BlizzCon ones, like somehow we've managed to produce like almost 4 hours of BlizzCon coverage every single year, and just us talking. Like you think like, how on earth have we managed to talk for 4 hours every single year about BlizzCon? But somehow we've done it.
Well,
so
I mean, there's always so much to talk about when it comes to BlizzCon,
It is.
so that doesn't really surprise me. So I do have a treat for anybody who's going to watch the video. Oh, excuse me. For anybody who watches the video or is watching the stream, I'm going to show you our very first episode, just in case you forgot how terrible we started off that show.
Oh no.
With the terrible looping that was going on. So give me just a moment. I'm going to set this up here on the screen. But it was pretty disastrous. Of course, it was a first episode, but I'm just going to capture my screen here real quick. There we go. I think. Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. Someone sing a song or something. Distract them.
Look over there, distraction.
Zul, do you remember when in episode 39 when we talked about Grommy Sanctum?
I do remember. I remember that.
When they were just going to revive Ruby Sanctum just with Grom
Yep.
in the middle of it. That needs to be a thing, Blizzard.
Still.
I'm still waiting for that. God, we have talked about some weird things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Over the last 100 episodes.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Yes,
An
we have-
episode.
Another episode I really liked was when we talked about romances with our followers. We compared it to like having a Mass Effect type system.
Yes.
With our followers and how awesome that would be. So Blizzard, why have you not done this for us? Come on.
With the class order halls.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, as a druid, you could be like hooking up with, demigods.
That would.
Warlocks, it might get a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 Shades of WoW would probably happen in that case.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
definitely.
Death Knights. You recruit your 4 horsemen, and you're like, hey, apocalypse.
That's what you call it,
All right. So give me 1 second here.
I'm starting to see it on the live stream.
So we're watching
And a Blizzard ad.
Yeah, Blizzard ad.
That does take
All right, everybody. So, without further ado, here is the clip of our first. I'll start with myself. WoW has been kind of in a lull lately. What's going on? My rating team is still active. This is not what I wanted to happen. Beating our heads against Garrosh weekly, but we managed to kill him every week. So, no.
You're so prepared.
You know what? Just forget it. We'll put
I'm
the
seeing
link.
it on Twitch.
Wait.
I'm seeing it on Twitch.
There you go.
It didn't start from the beginning. That was the problem.
Oh.
And the beginning was the worst part of that episode. But
I'll put it in from the beginning. I'll do an edit.
yeah, that XSplit is not wanting to work with me when trying to just capture the screen. So it's like I have to like try to add the URL, and then it's just being a butt. So. Yeah. So let's move on, I guess. What should we talk about, boys? We've been distracted for too long on trying to show the first episode.
I don't know. What
Well, should we touch? I mean, other than the fact that obviously 100 episodes is a huge amount of time, and we've been doing this for 30 months by my reckoning, and God knows how many hours. At the same time, the game and Blizzard has changed so much in those 100 shows, and I know that's quite similar to the discussion we had like at the 2-year thing we had in June, but still, like, I think that is the most telling thing, that the way Blizzard's evolved, like, Heroes wasn't a thing, Overwatch wasn't a thing, Hearthstone wasn't really where it is now. We were coming out of Pandaria. We were still quite away from the end of Pandaria when we started this thing. And we're now at the stage where Pandaria content is now part of Time Walking. So I think
that's weird.
We've come a long way. That is very true. Now, I do apologize for interrupting you, but I have it working now. So now I can show it. All right, the beginning moments, our first episode of Geeks of Azeroth in all its glory. Here you go. And 3, 2, 1.
Problem already, but we've got a sentence in.
Alright, well, there's a bit of delay.
What's happening? Are you hearing it twice?
I was, but not anymore. Welcome.
Okay, just go.
Sorry about
go
that. Welcome to and it keeps going. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth, everyone. My name is Patrick, aka Tarly, and with me I have Jake and Thomas. Why don't you guys introduce
Problem already,
yourselves?
but we've got a sentence in. Go on, Jake.
All right.
All right, that's just kind of brutal to watch. Just look how much we've grown.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is that we are so young.
My
You have no beard, Jake or Zool.
yeah, I know.
We actually called each other by our real names in the first few episodes, actually.
Yeah. That was a very different side. There are some things that shouldn't be seen, Tarly. That was one of them.
Oh, come on.
Just
that's
that
great.
looping over and over again of the intro,
Right.
and I can't figure out what's going on. Oh, it was great.
But I think for like a first episode, and actually that's worth talking about because Pat Crane at the moment is doing a great guide to podcasting. And I think that although like that looks like a complete car crash happening on the screen, that goes to show like, you know, podcasting isn't easy. Like there's a load of work that has to go into it in terms of setting it up and then all the post-editing stuff that we do and things like that. And I know for on Rose Realm Maintenance, there was a recording at BlizzCon for World of Podcasts where they talked about this sort of thing and how putting a podcast together can be really difficult. So in terms of you guys, I mean, what do you think has been the biggest insight into podcasting in general? Like not just about us making it, but also like other people in the podcasting scene. Like, is there anything that you've sort of gleaned from us doing this show? Charlie, as the sounder guy.
Well, I've definitely learned that you can't just roll out of bed on a Sunday morning, sit at your computer and be like, all right, we're doing a podcast with like no kind of idea where you're going. I mean, because we've done that, or I've done that at least a couple times, and the show just kind of ends up all over the place with absolutely no direction or anything. So I've definitely learned that it does take preparation, and yet 100 episodes later, I'm not always prepared every morning when the show starts.
Not ever prepared.
No, I mean, but that's part of our charm, okay?
We've weaved the weakest elements of our show into its charm.
Something I've learned and I've loved over the last 100 episodes is just like the WoW community, and it really shines, I guess, in the podcasting community in general. I mean, we've got a little community that follows us on Twitter, and that actually, and we'd love it if all of you listeners just wanted to join us on Twitter more often, but just the people that we talk to, the people that listen to us, the people that just interact with us. It's a great little community that we have, and it's definitely grown over 100 episodes, and so it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Zul, anything you learned, or I don't know really what I'm asking, really. That hasn't changed.
I don't know what the question is, but give me an answer. Is this Jeopardy? You give the answer and then you figure out the question.
Yeah, I just need Alec Baldwin to walk in.
What I've gotten out of it is if you want to do a podcast or be involved, just kind of jump into it. It's not going to be the easiest and it's not going to be pretty at first, but get your foot in. Start doing something. Submit a segment to a show. Reach out on Twitter to other people. Just do something. Keep your eyes open for opportunities. You're not going to just get shot down. The community's not really like that. So just get out there. See what happens.
I mean, yeah, that's how we got into this, basically. I mean, at the time, it was me and Zool both like reaching out to someone because we wanted to do a podcast, and we both happened to reach out to the same person at Epic Geeks, and then it's like, and then Britt said you just joined us, and a happy little family we became. And then came the Straggler a year and a half later.
Yeah, pretty much my intro to this show was, hey, I know Tarly in real life. He's doing a podcast and I'm standing next to him smoking. Hey, you forgot to talk about this, man.
Yeah.
You forgot to talk about this, man.
I'm like, and so the week we get back from BlizzCon, it's like, hey, you should be on the show. And there, it just went from there.
Yeah.
You never left. We couldn't get rid of you.
People thought you were me for a while.
The similarities are very strange.
There are some strange similarities. This is true.
Yeah.
You'll notice that Zul and Big Voodoo never quite overlap when they're talking.
I know. There is, like, Big Voodoo does not have an epic beard. So
No, it did not. I couldn't. I honestly could not grow an epic beard. Like, I don't grow anything on like the jawline. I grow patches up here, but I don't want to look like Pikachu or something instead of like Zool. It just sounds like a bad idea.
No, I challenge you. Pikachu Big Voodoo. I want to see it.
Pikachu onesie. That'll do.
To answer your question, that you don't know what the question is.
Yeah,
so
thank
do
you.
you have an answer? I mean, what do you?
To answer my own question,
Yeah.
of which I don't know what it is. Yeah, I will say that has been my consistent approach for the last 100 episodes, just to ask questions that I don't really know what I'm saying. But you know, I guess what I'm trying to get out is just that it's so cool that we started this show just three guys chatting in front of a microphone. And I know a lot of other podcasts will say the same thing, but after 100 episodes, we're now just 4 guys chatting in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
Right now, that's all we're doing. That's all we've ever done. And who knows? We might be 5 people this time next year. Oh, we don't know, but it's great
Just
that
Every year, one person gets added somehow.
yeah.
Until there
Podcast
won't be
of, like,
any
30
room.
people,
There won't be any room on the screen. It'll just be webcams filling up the whole thing.
little tiny squares. Just...
Zool's actually multiplying. That's what the beard is. It's another Zool about to drop off to become like a Big Voodoo Mark II or something.
One thing I like about this show, I mean, it's like we all live literally in different parts of the world. I mean, Britza, you're literally across the world from the rest of us here, and then the rest of us are different parts of the states, and yet we all get together every week, like, you know, like nothing. Like we talk, and we're good friends, like we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've never actually, except besides me and Big Voodoo, never met each other in real life.
Yeah, not in person yet.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to change this year.
Yes.
We're only 319 days from BlizzCon.
Hype. Hype. We should just start some tinfoil hat
Yeah,
days right now.
But that's our plan. I know, like me and Drake are really keen to actually get to a BlizzCon this year. Like this year was a little bit of, could we be bothered to spend? Well, in my case, I wasn't sure about the money, and in her case, she just missed the tickets. But this year, I think we're going to really go for it because, yeah, I think something you said, Tali, we really do have a following. We have people who, you know, talk about our show, and even in other like shows and websites, people who mention us, and that is the greatest and weirdest thing ever, to think that, you know, stuff we're making is actually out there and it gets discussed. That is the coolest thing ever, and you know, we're obviously thankful to everyone who does do that for us. And enjoys listening to this and put up with.
I know we say it a lot,
episodes.
but yeah, thank you so much, everybody who listens to the show, and not just to the listeners, but I mean to the other podcasters, because like Ro, for example, you've just always helped us, promoted us whenever we needed it. So thank you to everybody in the community, everybody who listens.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't have made it to 100. We wouldn't be doing this if there was no listeners and no community and no following.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're still doing it. Actually, we'd probably be doing it if it was just the
I think
4
we
of us who
would,
listened to it every week.
We don't even upload the episodes or record them. We just sit in front of microphones and chat into the void.
The secret episodes no one hears about.
Well, I do that on a nightly basis, but talk about it. So I mean, I guess should we talk about some Blizzard news? I guess. Wow, we're here.
Yeah.
There's been some stuff, I guess, that's happened over the last week. Being the holiday season, holiday events have started in every Blizzard game that currently supports them. It's pretty cool. We got World of Warcraft's Wintervale, we've got Wintervale and Heroes, and of course we've got the winter event in Overwatch, which I believe is the most one worth discussing because it's a new event in a new game. A lot of skins, which are really cool, but I think the highlight of it again is the actual brawl that got introduced to it, and that this one being a snowball fight with all maze. The concept being that you only get one shot of snow, you fire it. It is an insta-kill if you hit, but if you fire it, you have to pick up more snow off the ground. It's hilarious. Hilarious little brawl. Have you guys played it? What do you guys think?
I've played it. It's fun. It's not my favorite one, but it's a good time.
Yeah, it doesn't quite live up to the Halloween one, in my opinion, but
to me the highlight of it is actually the intro reel. You know, it's like, welcome to Eco Point, Antarctica, and you've got to be kidding me. That's the highlight to me. It's pretty great.
Yeah. What about? So you haven't played it yet, Britta?
I haven't yet. No. I'm looking forward to getting into it because, like you say, it's just a different game. By now, I'm so far behind on like the World of Warcraft stuff. Like, I know Winterfell's been going for like over a decade now. Well, not over a decade. I think it only came in after a few years. But, by now, if I haven't got the mounts, I'm never going to really bother to get the mounts. So I might as well just try and do it in a game that's relatively new. So, you know what? I think I'm probably going to pick up a few loot crates and go for those skins. And yeah, just have a bit of fun. I like how they do these things, like what they've been doing with the Heroes Brawl maps. Just really just taking the game and just messing with the rules. That's the thing, like in 2016. I know that I'm not preempting a sort of favorite moment of 2016, but I love how Blizzard has, in all their games pretty much, introduced a system of just taking the rules and mixing them up, whether it's like Mythic Plus or whether it's, in this case, just taking loads of heroes and just throw them all together. I love that sort of stuff. So to see it in Overwatch as well for the festive season, I think that's really what this is all about. Because
it is actually going to be happening. It's going to be happening in Battlegrounds as well. I mean, not yet, but they've said they like the brawls and every other one of their PvP games. So throw it in WoW as well. I think that'll be really fun.
So I will definitely be checking this out. Just haven't had a chance to yet.
We may be checking it out later on the stream. So stay tuned for that. Let's see, and yeah, there's new skins that I completely forgot came out for Heroes of the Storm. Lunara, being my favorite character, has she looks like a reindeer all covered in like festivities. I have to buy that like immediately after this stream, and then I'll play Lunara on our post stream here. So it'll be awesome. Is there a brawl in Heroes of the Storm for Wintervale? I haven't even seen.
Not for Wintervale. It is currently Mines, Haunted Mines, because they revamped Haunted Mines and brought it back into the map pool.
But they do have the usual goodies on. So they've got the Winterfell packs, so with the skins and the reindeer, and then obviously while it's Wintervale, you've got the Treasure Goblin mount for a limited period of time. So I think it's the same old really with Heroes of the Storm. It's nothing particularly new.
So with Heroes, when you first log in, you get a you get a Goblin mount, Festive Goblin mount, and then after you finish 25 games, I think it's just 25 games, then you get a Festive Treasure Goblin mount. Not sure what the difference is, but apparently you get 2 free mounts for the event.
Right on, I guess.
But they only last for Christmas, don't they? They disappear after.
No. Well, once you finish the 25, you get the mount.
Okay. Well, that would make sense, I guess.
Yeah. So it looks like we have to get through 25 games today on stream.
Speak for yourself. I've already got like 17, 18 done, I think.
Have you guys been working your way towards like the new Genji skins?
See, I haven't even started that. I want to do that too.
Yeah, Big Peter had it like a long time ago. I'm not even close. Yeah, I don't play Heroes all that much. So. Yeah. Let's see. There should never be a dull moment in our 100th episode. Come on, fellas.
There's not. No, let's talk about that thing I want to talk about, which is the fact that the Elysium project launched like yesterday. So for people who don't know, this is Nostarius gave their code to the people from the Elysium project, and the new legacy server, which effectively is Nostarius version 2, defying all of Blizzard's legal tape and everything, went live yesterday.
Yep, and it's a bit sketchy if you do want to try to get into it, because you do actually have to torrent the original version of World of Warcraft, install it, and go through all that. So it's definitely not par terms and conditions of Blizzard. So I'm not sitting here saying you should go do this and play it. But if you are interested,
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, the game is better now. I'm gonna say it. I don't miss not having a pet at first as a hunter. I don't miss carrying around tons of arrows, creating soul stones. I mean, that stuff isn't fun.
I think the biggest deal with like why everyone remembers vanilla WoW so fondly is
compared to what else was around at the time.
Yeah, like it was
Groundbreaking.
on top of its game and like the best MMO at the time, whereas now it's still a really good MMO, but you can argue about whether or not it's the best.
Yeah, there's enough really good choices out there that it depends on what you personally prefer.
See, like
Yeah.
my reason for wanting to play it, but I would still wait for an actual legacy server from WoW or from Blizzard, but it's because I didn't play when like Molten Core and all that was current content, and I would like to see what that was like. I know people say it's horrible compared to the live game now, but again, Wrath baby, so I don't know what it was like to take 2 months to level to 60 or.
If you want to know what it was like playing at launch, the server being down for half a week at a time.
Yeah.
I can go back because you can look at like your account history, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can go look at my account history and see like one free day, one free day, one free day because they were giving everybody all these free days because the servers were just down, not working at all. That's what it was like. It was amazing and it was fun at the time, but I really prefer the game I'm playing now.
That's fair. It's definitely fair.
I think as well, it's more a community thing, isn't it? You've got to, for Nostarius, it was the people they were playing with. The content was important because it was old style content, but it was the people who loved getting together to play that game. The same way people would, you play a retro, any retro console game. So I think, you know what, like you say, Zul, there's a larger portion of the community, I think, that has just moved on with the game and wants to talk about Mythic Plus and wants to talk about the latest raids and order halls. And those people are there, and you can go play that game live, totally legally. And then there's people who want to play the old game, and you can go and play with those people. But I think it's those two communities that are forming, sort of legacy WoW and current WoW. And
I do feel like Blizzard should just ultimately do it, though, so they're not breaking terms and service. I mean, because like you said, there's people who take an old console game or even just download a Star Wars game from 1995 on Steam, and you can go play that, but you just literally can't have the classic WoW experience without terms of service. Like, if people want that, they have to do something like Nostarius. So I just think, like, whether you want it or not, like, whether you would play it or not, I think Blizzard should just make it available. People, I know it's a lot of resources, but they've already proven that there's a good amount of people who would even pay extra money for it. So,
yeah, I mean that's true.
And the other bonus to that is it's not like they have to develop anything after. Like they're releasing one game and saying we're done.
Yeah, and I mean, if
but I guarantee
they
do
it for free. I mean,
I guarantee that if they released it and said they were done, then people are like, but wait, there's this bug, can you just fix this? Oh wait, there's this bug, can you just fix that? Oh wait, could you maybe make this one change? Wait, no, come back.
Nope, nope, it is the classic experience. They just literally apply patches as they happened.
No, what they do is they say they release it and then no one can log in. They're like, it's a classic experience, the servers are down. And they're just never up.
There you go.
Welcome to the classic experience.
Blizzard trolling their player base. That would be pretty great.
That would be horrible to do, but hilarious.
Let's see, what else can we talk about? What other new stuff has come out? Nighthold raid for WoW. While we're on the topic of WoW, the Nighthold is set to come out January 17th, which is presumably also the release date of patch 7.1.5. That patch may come out the week before. But I'm thinking, what
week was that you said again?
January 17th is the set release date for the Nighthold raid. I think we've had Emerald Nightmare for quite a long time, but I guess they did release that other raid in there as well.
Yeah,
but it's not starting to feel old. No. It might be for high-end raiders, but I'm certainly not bored of content at the moment.
I'm pretty impressed actually with Blizzard's pacing so far, with content patches, and presumably with this January 17th, that would probably put March or April for 7.2.
So, possibly.
So August 31st was launch. October was when we got 7.1.
That makes sense. That's a pattern. Yes. I'll go with that.
It's hard to predict anything with Blizzard. We might be stuck on Nighthold for a year before they're like, oh, yeah, we forgot to release 7.2. We thought it came out already. We weren't paying attention. We're all stuck
don't
up
say
on our
that.
new project. So this isn't on the news, but this happened in this isn't in our notes anyway. I completely forgot about this, but within the last time we've done a show, David Browder?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you say his name. The head
Dustin Browder.
Dustin Browder, the head of Heroes of the Storm and previous head of StarCraft 2, is now also working on a new project at Blizzard. What is going on? Now that just brings up, like,
The new project.
is it one new
It's
project?
creating a
How many-
clone of Chris Metzen to take his place.
Yes.
I'm actually starting to side with Big Voodoo here and think that it's a new IP, because they're taking all of these heads from, like, different games, all these people who have spearheaded projects, and they're moving them to something new. That makes me think that it's actually something brand new for Blizzard again.
The other alternative, though, is it's actually multiple projects, and they're both stuff we've seen before. So, say
StarCraft 3
Dustin
or-
Browder left for, I don't think a StarCraft 3, I think an RTS, I guess I would say. I feel like they'd be more inclined to do something different than StarCraft, simply because StarCraft, while
Not
still
the most popular
probably
game in the world right now, we'll say that.
yeah, it's probably one of the most, if not the most popular RTS in the world. But that's not saying much. Like,
RTSs are not
other
a strong
RTSs
placement.
don't do well at all.
If Blizzard wants to make another RTS, they have to reinvent the wheel. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to really change up the game.
But I think Blizzard is definitely capable of doing such. So
I mean, what do you guys think? Dustin Browder, I would definitely, my idea is that they're all working on the same project, and I think it's something brand new. Again.
I definitely think they're working on the same thing. And we also have to remember that there is that software engineer with FPS engine experience that they were looking for.
Again,
My only
not FPS, just strictly first person.
first person.
engine.
And that makes me think, well, if it's not a game, the other thing is maybe they are focusing on the esports experience. And maybe, to throw it out there, I've always said and on this show that I think the future of VR is in esports, in that it's putting on a headset and being able to see around stadiums, being able to see around the game. and being able
VR,
to almost
Overwatch, observer mode.
Well, could be it. And I just think, Blizzard now has this massive esports entity that it's just built into its business. And, why wouldn't they offer an esports experience that's unlike anything we've ever experienced? I think that would make sense why they're bringing different people from different games together to say, right, you know how WoW works, you know how StarCraft 2 works. Let's come together and make sure that all our esports can have this one functionality. Because like that would make it universal. That means people can go watch StarCraft 2 with a VR headset or on their screens moving around the map, and then dip out and watch Overwatch the same way, without getting that sort of feeling of, like when Overwatch was first esported, if that's a word, for the first time, and all those weird camera angles sort of divided things up. That's where I think it could be going. But that's if they're not working on a game. But they've got so many games, and I think like if they release another IP, that's their 7th, isn't it? Under Activision Blizzard.
It would be, yes.
But by the same merit, that could be 5 years down the road. That
True,
that
sorry,
happens too. Because they're still, if they haven't even really started on the engine itself to create the game, they're at this point. It would just be storyboarding and kind of brainstorming and working on the engine, and then after the engine's complete and they have an idea of what they're doing, then they actually start making a game.
But Blizzard is also, they're not like an indie studio. Like, Blizzard has a lot of people working for them, and they could potentially have at least an announcement or at least a video by next BlizzCon potentially.
That's entirely possible, depending on the size of the game. If they're trying to make an Elder Scrolls style game with an entirely new engine, and they haven't finished the engine until probably sometime next year, they're probably not going to have a video of anything.
Well, and like when they said they were working on a first-person engine, did they say that it was a brand new engine?
Yes, because they're looking for a
engine. So
yeah.
Okay, because I mean, what if they were expanding into a PvE side of Overwatch?
See, that was my idea as well.
Yeah.
In the previous episode, that's I would love it if that's what was happening, but Big Voodoo had to shoot down my argument by saying that they're looking to make a new engine. Why would they need to make a new engine if they just use the Overwatch engine? But I still think it is possibly an Overwatch game, like, or something to do with Overwatch. But if it's not a brand new IP, I think it would be more likely Diablo than anything else, because it's time.
Because it's about time.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of
think
Diablo,
Blizzard could feel the wave of disappointment shoot across the crowd during that Diablo part of the opening ceremony.
Yeah. People are ready.
Yeah. I mean,
Did
yeah,
you
I'll
have
play the
something on
Necromancer
Diablo?
for 5 minutes, but...
Well, interestingly, one of the things we possibly had on the agenda was a discussion around Blizzard and their Necromancer DLC. And I guess we don't need to really turn it into a discussion, but just to cover off what the gist of it was. Apparently, Blizzard was getting the feeling, or at least getting told by players, that whilst some were happy to play for the Necromancer DLC, some felt that it wasn't right to pay for it, and that given the fact that Diablo has repeatedly failed to incorporate PvP into the game, that the Necromancer DLC should be like a sort of, we haven't given you PvP, so we'll give you Necromancer for free. And I just wonder if, talking about engines and how an FP engine might work in Diablo, do you think PvP would be a good mechanism for that if they brought PvP into Diablo? I mean, do you think that would work also?
Diablo PvP doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they could put it in for the people who want it, but I would just hate Blizzard for such a good solo, or co-op RPG PvE game. I don't want
To
Blizzard
start
to
throwing a bunch of time at it.
Yeah, I don't want Blizzard to just start investing in it, trying to make it an esport like they did with World of Warcraft, and just
It's not going to work.
It would end up like World of Warcraft, where it's just such a very niche group of people.
I mean,
who would be
like
interested
if they
in it.
wanted to do it and they wanted to make it balanced, that means they'd have to do all pre-made character builds and gear so people could be arguably at the same level. And at that point, it's Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't work. Sorry, those who want Diablo PvP, just go play Heroes of the Storm and shut up.
You've ruined people's Christmas, Tarly. In fact, all three of you have. People's Christmases are ruined.
Done.
That being said,
Ah,
though,
fuck.
if Blizzard wants to give us free Necromancer, I'm down with that part of the deal.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not a fan.
free stuff.
I'm
Give us
definitely
free
not a fan
stuff,
that you have to
Blizzard.
pay for it. Like,
I have no problem paying for it.
In fact, just make all your games free.
I mean, I've put so much time into Diablo and stuff they've given me for free. If they want some money for that game that I'm still playing this long after release, you can have some.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, so what, they're giving you for free 2 new zones, and then you have to pay a little bit for the Necromancer himself. So
I guess it
you're
depends on
getting...
how much you're going to pay for him, I guess, is where the question comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be that much. I mean, co-op
$15?
commanders are only... I don't think so. I think you're going to be maybe
$10
10.
at the most.
Well, the thing is they're also adding all the stuff for the entire campaign. His voiceovers, his little cinematics for his story, his interactions with the followers. They're doing all of that too. So it's not just animations and abilities.
$20 at the most.
Yeah,
I've bought
I
entire
don't
games
think
for
it'll be
less.
over 10. I honestly don't. But, I mean, it could, very well. But I don't think Blizzard will bother charging any more than 10, maybe 15, but
something that hits me though is, didn't we this year we talked about when they put up that job board, and it was talking about, what did they want? I can't remember what they were advertising for, but a couple of positions on an unannounced Diablo project.
That was
And that must have been Necromancer. So that hits me now. Now we've talked about it, I've suddenly realised all that tinfoil hat theory we had, and we were talking about, a Diablo Skyrim and Diablo 4, and the whole community was behind Diablo 4. It was actually Necromancer, and I guess that brings a point to what you said, so that they have had to pay people and hire people to come up with Necromancer. So I guess it does make sense to pay for it. They had to advertise and hire people just to get the concept art across the line and all the voice work. So
because they're not really making any money off Diablo at this point.
No, it's too small player base, I think, isn't it? It's not. Well,
it doesn't have any monetization like all the other games do.
That's true.
It doesn't have it. There's no way for them to. You buy the game and that's it. You're done.
Well, they say time is money, and I've given Blizzard so much of my time that I shouldn't have to give them money. Is that how it works? I think
that goes in their favor. They've put time in it, so they need our money. You got it back.
I guess I'll pay $50 for the Necromancer then.
You could buy us all Necromancer then, Tardy. That'd be great. That's something I'm also for.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder now. Yeah, if that unannounced Diablo project that they were hiring for was purely the Necromancer, or if we are getting Diablo 4, or if it just goes back to the original question: is it
just out of nowhere? It's another expansion for Diablo 3, and that's it.
Like, I just can't imagine what both Tom Shilton, Dustin Browder, and then another guy from World of Warcraft is also on this new project. So what's going on? What's happening, bros? I'm doing my PewDiePie impression.
I have a feeling Tom Shilton and everybody else is probably wondering the same thing.
What's going on? It's like that picture of the dog sitting in the burning room. This is fun.
Yeah, I like to think how he, when he was sent off down the corridor, it wasn't like through his own will. He was like bag over the head and dragged into this basement.
It's horrible.
Am I being fired, Mr. Morheim?
No, get to work. On what? Get to work.
We'll tell you later. Just start working on something.
We'll tell you later. They're going to have a horrible mishmash of who knows what by the time they check in on that project.
Heroes of the Storm 2. First person.
In the Diablo 2 engine.
Oh, God.
It's the worst engine. It's going backwards.
In first person. Diablo 2's engine in first person.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
It would be awful. Which reminds me, it looks like we should be expecting that Diablo seasonal event, which anybody who's played the PTR has not had positive things to say about it. But if you do want to go play Diablo 1 in Diablo 3, that is happening probably within a week or so, I would imagine.
I'll probably play through it at least once. I mean, even if it's not the greatest, that's kind of what I heard, is like, it's kind of cool to do once, but there's no reason to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Is that when you say it hasn't been getting like good reviews? Is that just people?
Yeah, I've just watched a few YouTubers play it, and they're just like, it's meh. Like Zool said, they'll play it once, it's cool, especially if you hadn't played Diablo 1, or if you had played Diablo 1. Either way, you're just like, yay, nostalgia. It's still Diablo 3.
I think it's going to be like WoW Legacy servers. That's exactly what I think it's going to be like. I have such fond memories. Oh, right. This game was actually really shit compared to what I play now.
It'd be like WoW Legacy servers if they didn't change any of the systems or the graphics, just basically allowed you to level up to 60 and play the content without changing anything else of the game, because this isn't going to appeal to people who are fans of Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, because it's still all the systems, the combat, the mechanics that is Diablo 3, which is debatable.
Except 8-way movement.
The 8-way movement and 8-bit graphics. Woohoo!
That's also interesting in that we started the show talking about how there's a huge nostalgic community behind WoW, and yet you don't have that with the other games. Like no one, I don't see like massive amounts of streams, people playing like Diablo 1 and Diablo 2.
There are
yeah,
still
Diablo
people
2.
who stream it though. I even watched
Yeah.
somebody streaming it the other day. I mean, it's not a huge
Diablo
following.
2 actually, it holds up really well,
Yeah.
honestly.
Diablo 2 was a fantastic game, and
It still is.
It
Like
still
it
is, yeah.
seriously holds up. There's a few little things you could gripe about if you're used to modern, like the
Like-
whole stamina to run faster is kind of like, it's not really a thing.
I like Diablo 3's combat. Obviously, it's a more modern feel. It's a good
Mm-hmm.
combat feel, and all the abilities and stuff. But I love the talent trees and the customization and just the gem system and all of that was so much better in Diablo
Yeah.
2.
I could definitely see
If
that.
there's a Diablo 4, I just really hope it's a hybrid of the two.
Yeah, they find a really nice middle point
Like,
with
there-
new stuff to make it its own thing.
Diablo
Obviously,
2, there was such a good like distribution of legendaries where it was like they weren't just given to you, so they felt pointless, but they didn't take so long to get that it felt too grindy. There was just always the right amount of reward. Where Diablo 3, when it started, you never got legendaries. They were so you had to buy them on the auction house, and now legendaries are. Yep, I've got 100 of them that I'm just disenchanting. So
see the cool thing with legendaries in that, yeah, you get a ton of them, but they can drastically change how you play your character and totally change your build. That's what makes them fun, is that they affect how your character plays. They're not just stat sticks.
Which is where they've got them with Legion, pretty much.
Hmm.
They're actually kind of critical to your class in how you play. But at the same time, it's funny how, yeah, Diablo's saturated with them, and yet, WoW, people were really frustrated that they can't get them. But that's the point of not being able to get them. They're legendaries, and even when they came out, we were saying, well, does this mean everyone's just going to get a legendary now? You know, legendary pants, legendary hats, and no, it works perfectly in the old system, and I'm glad to see that's what they did with Legion, at least.
if I were to change anything about Legion legendaries, is I would give a specific I'm not saying they should be any easier to get, but I would prefer more of a specific path to get the one you want than just grinding and grinding and grinding and then just getting one that is absolutely worthless. And then that lessens your chance of getting another one. So it's like, I don't mind there being multiple legendaries. I don't mind.
I feel like they got
grind.
rid of that, the lessening your chance when you get one.
With 7.1.5. That
Yeah, okay,
goes
that's
in.
when they. Okay.
But still, like I still feel like maybe having a way to get the one you want, like you have to do. I don't know. For the next legendary system, I don't think it should be 100% random. It works for Diablo, where I don't think it works as well for WoW. Big Booty
I
looked
think
like it-
I think what they should do is still the randomness of a just world drop chance,
yeah.
but allow you to trade that in for any one of your class legendaries. Like, because there's nothing worse than, well, all of my legendaries are great except this one, and I haven't got one yet, so I'm due for one. 3 days later, I got a legendary, except it's the only one for my class that I don't want.
Yeah.
Like, that just feels really bad. So why not let them trade that in for a different legendary?
Yeah. Are we sort of condoning reforging coming back?
I think reforging
No.
would, with the way the stat system is right now, I think reforging would actually fit just fine in the game, honestly. Because as it stands right now, like you'll get an item level upgrade, but you can't equip it because the stats are just they're not good enough, and that the stat weights are just ridiculous this expansion.
Yeah, but the catch is stat priorities don't matter for any of us. Literally any of us.
What?
Because we're not top-end players. Legitimately, if
it matters. Even at just to get the best DPS out of your character that you can, you should.
Yeah, but
focus
why
on
do
your
you
stat
need that
priorities.
DPS?
To succeed?
With what?
It literally.
Are you mythic rating?
You know.
Are you mythic rating, Tarly?
It doesn't matter if you're mythic rating or not. Like Icarus, our friend who plays an elemental shaman, is the perfect example. Because he didn't get geared with his best stat weights, his elemental shaman was terrible. He wasn't playing it wrong. He just didn't have the right stats, and therefore couldn't keep up in DPS. and that's even just in a Mythic 1 dungeon.
Yeah, but we were able to do Mythic 1s.
We were, but just you're not understanding my point here.
I get
Stat weights
I
don't
get-
just apply to like Mythic Raiders.
I
Anymore.
get the stat weights are beneficial for people at lower amounts of play, but by the same merit, why do you need them if you're not running?
Who
Mythic
plays
5?
who plays an MMO to be like, I want my character to be average. You want to be the best. You can be.
Yeah, but I'm saying in order
Like no one ever
complete-
was.
complete the content that you are actually playing, stat weights don't matter. Item level will carry you.
To complete it easier.
Okay, as an alternative then to how legendaries come, what if they?
Thank you for taking us off that argument because it was gonna
Yeah. So you can see,
I see where both of you are coming from, and I agree with both. Honestly,
I think yeah, legendaries do kind of have a dual setup in terms of what they're doing, but I think the thing that people are getting frustrated at, as you said, Big Voodoo, is that they're not getting the one they want. So what if legendaries had a similar setup to like how Kazakus plays out in Hearthstone? Like you get a legendary and you can almost build it when you get it. You choose like a series of traits. And then you can go, right, these are the traits I've got. I'm going to choose these. And yeah, they work for me now. If I change my setup, then obviously it's not going to work anymore. But would that give you enough freedom? Do you think?
I would be down for like a Kazakus build your own legendary type item.
I like it.
Yeah, that's
Blizzard,
really good.
Again, we are giving you gold on our 100th episode. We are giving you gold. And this could fit in, like, remember our discussion about like how the artifact system will change in the next expansion. I believe that we talked about that on our last episode 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was before that, but the evolution of artifacts in the next expansion and how we create them, that could just kind of flow into that system as well. Just creatable, like custom legendaries, custom artifact weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is custom.
Well, I don't know how far to
Create
go
your
with
own
that.
mount.
Oh boy. Oh
You've got,
boy.
like, you've got like the Yeti head on a Murloc body. It's like a weird Frankenstein setup then. But yeah, that, you know, I think to a certain extent that would work. Like, you know, what the idea of just at least giving you a bit of control. The thing that seems to frustrate people is the fact that they've got no control over something that's really rare. And I get you shouldn't have to do that, but if you're not going to give them reforging and the option to constantly change it because you're worried that people will just keep rebuilding gear at will, then okay, just give them that opportunity once. Give them a one-shot reforge. It's not even a reforge, just a one-shot forge when they get the ultimate rare item. And then that's it. You know, if they want another version of it, they're going to have to grind it out again. And, you know, given the stats, that's going to be practically impossible. But
I like it.
You know, it gives them at least some level of accountability. And then, you know, Blizzard, they say, oh, I've changed my spec and I've got the one I want. It's like, well, you had a chance and you changed it. So that makes sense. At least.
Where did this conversation start? I'm trying to backpedal to how we got
Stat
to
priorities.
No,
and me
no,
and you arguing.
No.
I think it started with Tom Chilton going into a dark room.
Something like that. This has been a very good discussion because it's been all over Blizzard campus, basically. And ended with
exactly
stat
what
weights
we've
and
been as a podcast.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you know it's good.
Definitely.
There are people. I like to think there's people at Blizzard like listen to this show and they go, "How are they guessing it every single?"
They always know. They have cameras hidden in here somewhere.
Like they
That's why
must
they
have
shot
been
reviews.
very angry at our pre-BlizzCon episode where I was like, they're gonna go out there, they're gonna talk about Overwatch a little bit, they're gonna do a little presentation, and then Sombra is going to hack into it, and then there's going to be a new video with Sombra, and that's how they're gonna announce it, and that's exactly what happened.
Maybe we're all working for Blizzard secretly and we haven't told our listeners. No, actually, that's not true.
Surprise!
We don't even
100th episode surprise! We are all Blizzard employees. Blizzard, please grant us this wish. We are all Blizzard employees.
See, but then we'd be fired because their employees can't do podcasts of their own.
We were Blizzard employees. Oh. So, I don't know.
To wrap it up, I think Blizzard is making a new IP.
Will we find out this year? Do you think they'll let us know this year whether it's going to what's happening?
I think they'll have to. I mean, because everybody
This
knows
year being
they're doing it.
2017, sorry.
Yeah. I think they'll have to because everybody's speculating, everybody's talking about it. Because obviously they make their hiring process public. I feel like they're gonna say something. It might not even be a video. It may just be like title screen. This is what we're working on. But people have been wanting something. People have wanted something from Diablo. People have been expecting something new. Even though we just got Overwatch, but the Blizzard's player base is getting more and more demanding. I think they're gonna have to announce something at BlizzCon this year.
Yeah.
Starius efficacy server, but we have to go back to Draenor.
Oh God.
I think that they will announce something, but at very most, it's going to be a cinematic, like announcement. BlizzCon 2017 game doesn't release till 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I doubt we'll get the Overwatch treatment where brand new game announced and it is playable today, like BlizzCon 2014. Don't think that'll happen.
Well, especially since they don't have any assets already built for this one, which they did for Overwatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to see it if they were just Titans back. Like that would be amazing. Just an Overwatch, basically
Titans back.
make how Destiny should have been kind of game in the Overwatch.
But they turned that into Overwatch, though.
But
So it would have to be an Overwatch themed single player, wouldn't it?
Overwatch
I guess.
MMO.
Overwatch MMO, build your own hero. Kazakus that. Yeah. Awesome.
You need to play a Reno Priest, I think, Tom.
I think I do. I'm just spending the Christmas playing that. Oh.
Just make sure and get Kazakus. He's incredibly good anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've had tinfoil hat time about this so many times about what Blizzard could possibly be making. And I promise you, listeners and viewers of the stream, that by our episode in 2017, we'll have a new intro made. I already have the concept down for what we're gonna do for tinfoil hat time. It'll be its own segment. We'll have an intro for it. It'll be pretty awesome. So,
as a sort of close though to tinfoil hat, and obviously this is going to probably be the last episode before New Year. What do you think 2017 has in store for Blizzard gamers?
lots of esports. It is going to be the year of Overwatch. I mean, if you thought 2016 was big for Overwatch, just 2017, it's going to explode. And Heroes too. I think Heroes has the potential to get bigger. It won't ever rival League and Dota, but still.
And I think the collegiate side of Heroes is definitely going to become huge. Like, it's not getting any smaller, and offering college kids free tuition is a good way to get them to play your game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that was probably my highlight for Heroes Esports of the year. It was so cool to watch, and then there's the documentary about how they made it, so it's very
I haven't
cool.
watched that yet. I keep meaning to.
It's on YouTube for
You
free.
should.
Yeah, I want to really bad.
It's only an hour long.
I love stuff like that.
It's very cool.
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
I am calling it right now that they are going to release Kel'Thuzad in Heroes before the end of 2017.
Ooh,
I still predict Malthael as well. I think Malthael is going to happen as a hero.
Okay.
In Heroes of the Storm.
Who was the Orc Death Knight? The one we killed in Ice Crown. Can't remember his name.
You think I can't remember either, but you think he's going to?
I just think they need a Death Knight. It's not Arthas. I just think they.
How could they
really
do another Death Knight? Because Arthas kind of encompasses a Death Knight playstyle.
Not another spec though. Blood Death Knight or Unholy? Oh no, he's already got Unholy.
Well,
Unholy could work.
Arthas
Unholy
summons
could be
ghouls
cool.
And he has
Yeah. Okay, ignore me. I'll think of another one.
I just want
Uh,
freaking Vol'jin in there. Is what I want.
Vol'jin is actually rumored to be the next one.
Yeah, 'cause he's
Um,
dead
I hope
too.
With
so. He deserves it. And they can do some cool stuff with a Shadow Hunter because that's not a playable class in any of their games. So they could like have some real fun with that with the lore of Shadow Hunters.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that'd work.
Summoning Wamsamdi, who he's always talking to, like take your enemy's soul.
That would. You can't
That would
res for
be
the rest
cool.
of the game.
You can't. It turns it into a permadeath character. You can use it once per match,
That,
and it takes that character out of the match.
that would just be terrible, but hilarious.
You can't play
Or
anymore.
brings them to your team.
Oh, man.
Though that would just make them feed the whole time. So, yeah. Either way, that probably
so-
wouldn't work.
Kel'Thuzad or Vol'jin
I
as
predict.
heroes' choices.
I predict the next WoW expansion will be announced either next BlizzCon or towards the end of 2017.
Wow.
Maybe,
Okay.
Maybe at like didn't they do it at was it Gamescom?
I don't. Gamescom will be too soon. I think.
Because what if they announced it during the summer but didn't have much to show, and then at BlizzCon had a bunch to show?
That's true. They
And
could
actually-
do
That
that as
makes
well.
sense.
But at the way the patch cycle's going, I don't even think we'll be at 7.3 by summer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You could be right though.
Gamescom 2017. That is
should be
August.
Yeah.
August 26th. So yeah, I think Intel could be right. You know, if they
Yeah.
have at least a like how they did with Pandaria.
Mhm.
You know, just because we're in 5.2, you know, because we're in.
Wow.
Wow. Guess what, guys? We're going back in time again. No, because we're part through content doesn't mean they haven't revealed the next part of the story, and there's nothing said that we get back in time for the next expansion. So yeah, that could be possible.
But yeah, I definitely see an announcement in 2017 for the next WoW expansion.
I can see that.
And also, Tali, you had a theory about the next Overwatch hero. Involving someone who may have gone to Blizzard recently.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Terry Crews has just made like an appearance at BlizzCon. Terry Crews has been all over like the gaming community lately. He wanted to wait. Basically, TLDR of what's going on is Terry Crews wanted to just have a better relationship with his son, and his son plays a lot of video games. So Terry Crews built a computer, and he is now addicted to video games, and he specifically loves Blizzard games and Overwatch. And now people have been for a long time theorizing that Terry Crews could voice Doomfist. Well, now there has been a picture of Terry Crews blizzarding the visiting campus. Or, if you like to speak English, he was visiting the Blizzard campus. I think Terry Crews is going to voice Doomfist. I think
That could work.
Doomfist or Athena are pretty much prime characters to be the next Overwatch hero. And there's a third one that I can't pronounce the name of, but it was one of the founding members of Overwatch who has gone missing. I can't pronounce her name, but I think Doomfist is the next candidate, and I think it's going to be Terry Crews. Power! Come on, you can see it.
I wouldn't that be cool though if like he could like re-hack Sombra and instead of like play of the game like his version of the old Spice
Flexing
output
his
came
pecs.
on.
He's flexing his pecs and just.
That would work pretty well like that. But I think Athena's got to come pretty soon because she's been teased for ages.
I almost
I
thought
think it's-
Athena's like not having a presence of Athena in the Winter Veil event for Overwatch was almost hinting at something. Why is she not announcing now the event? I almost feel like that was for a reason, but who knows? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe they just wanted a funny soldier introducing the event. But
Well, they've been very good this year, just not saying anything, just for no reason,
See,
just to keep it under
it's
the
just
wraps.
strange because we knew about Sombra before Ana was even out. We knew that Sombra was coming, but now Sombra's out, and we have no idea. Blizzard hasn't been hinting at all, so it's interesting. I wonder how far off the next hero actually is.
I wonder if they even know. Like they said, they've been working on stuff, but
Well, they said they had like in the
They
interview
didn't-
before Sombra came out. They said she was very much close to done, and they have another one in the works. They had in the testing phases of mechanics, basically.
yeah, but another one in the works tells me we're working on them, but they didn't sound like they were super inspired by what was happening. It wasn't like
it's hard
we're
to-
super excited about this. It's just we're working on it. Maybe it'll become something. Maybe we'll come up with a different idea, and that's going to be the hero that we actually add.
If I had to guess how they actually do this, I would say Sombra is at the end of the pipeline. They have her done. Then I think shortly behind that they have one that's we've got the mechanics. We don't even have voice lines done for them, but we have a basic art. We have mechanics that we're testing, balancing, if the mechanics even work. And then before that, they have heroes like 3 or 4 even in story, like concept storyboards, like what, just throwing in the puddle of ideas. So I feel like the next hero is at least in we're testing the abilities phase right now, whether these mechanics even work. And like you said, they could have like made the mechanics and like, this doesn't work, we need something else. But who knows? That's how I feel like they have stages for where they have heroes going. But
And I don't think it probably doesn't take as long as we think to develop a hero. I wouldn't be surprised if they've possibly
they can
got
do one or two a month for heroes, but
Well, I don't think they can do 1 or 2 a month, but I think like they may be at a stage where like the next 2 heroes are kind of done, and they're working on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and all they're waiting to do is just to plonk those next 2 into the PTR. But they don't, just simply because they know that if they drop them in too soon, people might get an idea that heroes are coming more quickly, or maybe they just feel like, you know what, now's not a good time. Let's wait for a bit of lull in, WoW content or a lull in other games. So I think they might have them already done, because as well they know what the community's saying. They know the community's talking about Athena, and I've just seen a great post on GameSpot where they list all the potential heroes. Like they talk about Sven from the Torbjorn. Sure.
Yeah.
Like there's so many heroes. Like I think they've got about 11 that they could potentially be working on.
Though I predict for 2017 we'll at the most see 4 heroes.
Yeah,
I think even that might be stretching it.
Yeah.
at most, yeah.
Overwatch can't become as inundated with heroes as Heroes of the Storm. It can't I don't think it works with that.
I think it could. The problem is that high-end competitive gameplay, you're going to see the same heroes repeated, and it'll make a lot of heroes just kind of unviable.
Fall to the wayside.
We've said it before, like the problem with a lot of top-end Overwatch play right now is that like Lucio is too essential because of his kit. And right now the Overwatch heroes, everyone has a unique ability. Every hero is completely and utterly different from the other. So I don't think it'd be a bad idea to have like just another hero who has a speed boost like Lucio, because then that would take Lucio away from being a must pick. Every game you have to have Lucio. So I think actually more heroes could alleviate the problem that you see of like must picks, but at the same time, yeah, it could just make no one ever plays Tracer anymore because she's just the 1st gen hero, useless.
But does that affect?
It may not even be like the 1st gen heroes that are the issue, but between interactions between heroes and their already, I wouldn't say shaky balance, but the game isn't 100% balanced. If it was, you could play any of the 5 supports as a support, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to play Lucio. So with the fact that they're already still working on the kind of balance of the game itself, throwing in hero after hero after hero isn't going to help that whatsoever. And changes in Overwatch aren't as easy as number tuning like they are in Heroes. At least not most of the time. Most of the time it's kit changes or mechanical changes to heroes still.
And like you saw, but they are willing to sit down and change a hero if it needs it. Like Symmetra is a perfect example, and I forgot to talk about that, but the Symmetra changes went live. And the amount they changed might seem minor, but I played Symmetra on attack the other day, and I had gold eliminations. I mean, she is completely changed, and she's way different and way more viable in any situation. So,
Although Symmetra is like a perfect example of my argument too.
yeah.
With Symmetra on your team, Reinhardt is still a good idea as a tank, but he's not required anymore because Symmetra can recreate that shield and do a similar thing. Whether or not it's exactly the same, we're not saying another character like Lucio with a speed boost needs the exact same press a button, everyone gets a speed boost.
It gives you that little ability that people found vital, but by having it on a different character, which means the other abilities that character has are different, it totally changes how you use that ability and what team and team build works around that.
I mean, because you've been seeing what Blizzard's been doing. They've been trying to fix the Lucio problem forever. They keep nerfing him. Yet he's in every single competitive game. So I feel like they'll address that eventually.
Do you think, though, releasing heroes, obviously at the same time that they're going to produce the League, I mean, the thing I always seem to see with Heroes of the Storm is that when a new hero comes out, and we talked about this with Halverian as the first multi-class hero, could upset potential balances as a first-pick hero.
I
do you
never
think they'd want to keep them
Sombra.
stable?
I'm not seeing Sombra at all on the competitive scene, which is interesting. Because she's a game changer, at least for like the level I play at. But
I think the biggest thing with it is simply that they need to add heroes overall, but they can't add heroes at the pace that they do in Heroes of the Storm, because that will never work. You'll never have balance at that rate. They need to establish a good balance to kind of start off with. And then if they want to increase how long in between, or decrease the amount of time in between heroes, then they could. But the game is not at the point where it's solid as is.
Fair enough. I think that'll be telling, though, in terms of where they think they're going with Hero League. Not Hero League, sorry. Overwatch League. There's so many leagues. That's going to be something for 2017, just trying to figure out all these leagues. But yeah, I think I'm excited for that, and I will be interested to see how the release of Heroes plays into Overwatch, because I feel they just might want to keep it stable for the first few weeks of it, and then maybe they'll just start piling in heroes towards the end of the year. But I don't know, 3 or 4 seems quite reasonable given the current state.
holy moly. I'm looking at my recording time right now, and we are quickly approaching an hour and a half. This has been quite a 100th episode. We have been talking your ears off, I'm sure. So if you have bared with us for this long into the show, and for 100 episodes, 100th episode, 100 I can't talk. I never can. For 100 episodes, thank you so much, as always, for listening. 100 episodes, and we're hopefully see you again at episode 200. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can always check us out on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Twitch. And stay tuned, because if you want to check us out on Twitch, we are going to be playing some Heroes of the Storm and potentially Overwatch as well, which the video of the gameplay will be uploaded on the Epic Geeks YouTube, which is youtube.com/epicgeeks. But you can find us on Twitter.
We'll be eliminating ourselves.
Yes.
No more hero. Go on.
You can find us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. You can find me personally at Tarly_pause. Zool, where can we find you?
You can find me at ZoolGeek.
Big Voodoo, let's just get it out of the way.
The Leet Speak is real at B1GV00D00.
Britza.
At Britza_EG.
And of course, you can contact us with questions, fan mail, hate mail, junk mail. Send it all to Geeks of Azeroth EG at gmail.com. 100 episodes and I
100 episodes and we got it right.
Again, just one more heartfelt thank you all very much. 100 episodes. Couldn't have done it without you. And I look forward to the next 100 more. Everyone have a great week. And we'll see you in the next year. This is our last episode until 2017. So,
Yeah.
everyone, have a great rest of your year in Blizzard Games. Bye.